Hi everybody, happy Thursday. Today I'm going to be doing our second and final video for this week. Remember that this week we're just doing 2 videos instead of 4 videos. And I'm going to go ahead and move on today. We're going to talk about math today, but we're going to move on today from time. So we had a couple of videos, I think we had 3 videos in all, talking about how to tell time to the hour and to the half hour. If you haven't seen those, go ahead and take a look at those. Make sure that you're all caught up. But we're moving on away from time, and we're going to start talking about graphs. Graph is actually a spelling word that we've had before, but I'll help you spell it today. And we're going to be talking specifically about, what are we talking about today? Is it picture graphs today? Yeah, we're talking about picture graphs today. So, if you don't already have it, go ahead and grab your IJ. I have mine right here. There we go. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit. Today's date is going to be 5-7-2020. And our goal for the day, you guys, is to understand how to read a picture graph. So by the end of this, you should know how to read a picture graph. Now, the first thing we need to know before you can start reading picture graphs is, well, what is a picture graph? So let's take a look. I'm going to write the definition for you right here. So let's write picture graph. And if you don't remember how to spell graph, it's G-R-A-P-H. Remember that PH makes the F like an F sound. Okay, a picture graph, according to your book, is a graph that uses pictures to show information. Information. I'll say that one more time, and then I'll have you go ahead and pause the video if you need to, so that you can go ahead and copy that down. A picture graph is a graph that uses pictures to show information. So when I show you a picture of a picture graph, and I give you an example of a picture graph, you should be looking for pictures that show information. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to and write that down. And when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and turn to page 179, P179, in your green math book, your Go Math books, just like this. So find page 179. Remember, you are not ripping these out. I'm just ripping it out so it's easier to show you. So once again, you've written this down in your IJ. And you've gotten out page 179. 179. Okay, so this guy up here is a picture graph. You'll see the title at the top says our favorite outdoor activity. There's 3 different options for our favorite outdoor activity. There's biking, skating, and running. And now each one of these little stick figures represents one child that said that that was their favorite outdoor activity. So for example, 2 children said that skating was their favorite outdoor activity. And 4 children said that running was their favorite outdoor activity. And 5, 6, 7, 8 kids said that biking was their favorite outdoor activity. So this is using the stick figure pictures to share the information of how many children said that biking, skating, or running was their favorite outdoor activity. Okay, I'll say that one more time. We're using pictures, so how many stick people pictures tells us how many kids said that this activity was their favorite outdoor activity. That's what I mean by a picture graph, okay? So it's important to remember that the 3 activities are biking, skating, and running. And it's important to remember that one stick figure picture means one child. Now we're going to use the information that we found in this graph to answer some of the questions below. So number 1, it said how many children chose biking? Well, we're going to look at all of these pictures. We're going to count how many stick figures there are to see how many children chose biking as their favorite activity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 children. Thanks, picture graph. Okay, number 2. How many children chose skating and running all together? Oh man, so they want to know how many children chose either skating or running as their favorite activity. So that means that we're going to have to see how many kids chose running and how many chose skating together. Okay, that means I'm going to add these 2 together. So I have 1, 2, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 2 kids and 4 more kids gives me how many kids? 6. Okay, do you see how it said how many chose skating and how many chose running? 2 and 4, together that makes 6. All right, number 3. Which activity did the most children choose? Now this question should be nice and easy because we don't even have to count, right? I don't have to count each of these pictures. I should be able to just look at my picture graph and say, okay, which one did most kids choose? Well, this one has way more than these 2 do, so it looks like most people chose biking as their favorite activity. I'm going to choose the bike. Alrighty. I am going to go ahead and go over this last one by reading it to you, but I'm actually not going to do it for you. It's going to be your homework to finish this real-world problem-solving question number 4. Okay, so I'll read it for you, and I'll give you a couple hints if I need to, and then that's going to be your homework, okay? So, it says, write a number sentence to solve the problem. Use the picture graph at the top of the page. How many more children chose bikes or biking than running? How many more children chose biking than running? Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of a hint. We have 8 kids that chose biking and 4 kids that chose running. 8 and 4. I'll even write it on the side so you can remember 8 and 4. So it's asking you how many more chose biking than running. How many more is 8 than 4? Now there's 2 ways, if you remember all the way back. It's a long time to remember back, so I'm going to give you a hint. There's 2 ways to figure out how many more. I can either subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, or I can think to myself, how many more does 4 need to get to 8? How many more is 8 than 4? How many more would I need to get to 8 from 4? Now your job is to write your answer. Blank more children chose biking than running. And it's also to write a number sentence to go with your answer. So what number sentence did you use to help you find out your answer? So that's going to be your homework on page 179. Okay, so before I let you go, I'm going to have you draw in your IJ, so go ahead and get that back out. I'm going to have you draw in your IJs a picture graph so that we can remember what it looks like. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to write weather at the top. That's going to be the name of our graph, weather. And on the side, we're going to write sunny, rainy, and windy. Okay, and now I'm going to make a box. And I'm going to make my box into smaller boxes. I'm going to do it in half. I'm going to do it in half again. That one in half, that one in half. And then I'm going to draw a line. So hold on, make it into 4. And then I'm going to draw a line in between sunny and rainy. And in between rainy and windy. Okay, so you should have 3 going this way and 4 going this way. Okay, go ahead and pause the video if you need to make yours look nice and pretty. Okay, so the point of a picture graph and what makes a picture graph special is that it uses pictures to show information, just like our definition says up here. So I'm going to give you some information and we're going to draw some pictures on our picture graph to help us show some information. Okay, so this is going to be weather. Okay, so let's say that last month there was 4 sunny days. 4 sunny days. So I am going to go ahead and draw 4 little suns. Just like that. And in the same month, last month, let's say there were 3 rainy days. Now, I could just draw some raindrops in here to go with the rainy days, but because I want all my pictures to be the same, just to make it easy, I'm going to draw more suns. So, if there were 3 rainy days, how many suns am I going to draw? 3. You can draw your sun however you want it. This is just makes it easy for me. Okay, so there were 4 sunny days, there were 3 rainy days, and let's say that there was just 1 windy day. I'm going to draw 1 sun in my picture graph. So now that you have this picture graph actually gives me a lot of information. For example, if I asked you how many rainy days there were last month, you could tell me, okay, here's rainy, 1, 2, 3. There were 3 rainy days last month. If I asked you how many windy days there were last month, you could say, oh, just 1. If I asked you how many sunny and windy days there were together, you could say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 sunny days, 1 windy day, 1 and 4 make 5. There were 5 sunny and windy days. If I asked you how many more rainy days were there than windy, you could say, okay, there were 3 rainy days and just 1 windy day. There were 2 more rainy days than windy. Look at all that information you got just from one picture graph. So picture graphs are a really great way to show information. And hopefully, now that you've watched this video, you understand how a picture graph works. Feel free to watch this video again if you're still a little bit confused. And if you have any questions, make sure you message me on Class Dojo so that I can help you. I want to remind everybody, here I'll move it this way. There we go. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow, which is Friday, we're still having our normal 3 Zoom meetings. Okay, so we have one at 8 a.m., one at noon, and one at 6 p.m. I also know, in case there's any parents that are watching this, I also know that there's been kind of some back and forth on what the end of the year is going to look like. It's my understanding that Dr. Jane sent out on Facebook the drop-off times for when we're going to take things back, so when like my classroom will be open for you to take things back, but there's still some kind of information that I don't have that I need to talk to her about, and some things that might not be finalized yet. So I know you guys are stressing out about when to bring things back. I promise you I'll get you information as soon as I have it. My hope is that, well, by Friday, if not sooner rather than later, I'll be able to say, on this date, at this time, at this place, you can turn in your stuff. So thank you for being patient with me on that. I promise you I'll get you information as soon as I have it. In the meantime, make sure you're still watching the videos and completing all the workbook pages. You should have seen on Class Dojo that I sent you a list of all the workbook pages that need to be done. Make sure that you're logging on MobiMax. We did not have a lot of kids log on MobiMax so far this week. So if you're a kiddo that's watching this and you haven't logged on MobiMax, please log on 30 minutes a day. And if you haven't checked out Epic yet, make sure you're doing that too. Have a great rest of your day, you guys, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow at either 8 a.m., noon, or 6 p.m. Have a good one. Bye.